to a new session, and in this session we are going to see how to handle CORS or cross origin resource sharing. Let me type it down for you. That is cross origin resource sharing. Alright, so let's see how to set up this on the S3 buckets. So I guess you would have already read about the CORS in the documentation in the previous module, and you would have got an understanding about what is CORS. But anyway, I'm going to be explaining it once again for you. So what happens is, let's say we have this test bucket -s3 wall -demo wall 1. Now I have an index file here, and I want to host a set of files within this, which is going to be called within the index.html. Now, if I'm going to be calling a file from within this same bucket, then it is called as the same origin. So this is the same origin, and within this origin, I'm going to call another file or another object within the same bucket, right? Now, if I'm going to be storing, or if I'm going to be calling an object which is located in an entirely different bucket, probably even in an entirely different region, then I'm going to be calling it as, so then it is called as cross origin resource sharing. What we're doing is we are going to use the resource from another bucket to be called into this bucket. So we are going to see how to implement that, as well as how to secure that using the headers functionality which is inbuilt into the CORS functionality of the S3. Alright, so let's see how to do that now. So let's go into the volume which we already created for the hosting the static website. Okay, so this was the previous bucket which I had created for the static website hosting. So if we go into the properties, I should be able to see that. Let me scroll down to the bottom. So that's where the static website hosting is normally located. So if I click on the link, I see that there is a static web page which is hosted on the S3 bucket, and it works fine for us. Right, now what I want to do is I want to go and ensure that I can call from another page a resource for the index.html file within this bucket from another bucket. That is the idea of CORS. So first, let's test the same origin. Alright. So for that, let me go and remove the index.html file which I already have here. Okay. Let me delete this file. The file was the object was successfully deleted. Now let me go here and I'll delete the old file. Okay. So I have a file for CORS, and I'm going to copy that and I'll paste it here again, and I'll call it as the new index. I'll just call it as index.html. Alright, so let me just ensure that the contents within the file are correctly set. Alright, so let me open it up, and okay, so CORS fetch. Here I have used this previously, so that's the reason I can see the path to the previous path to the origin which was already set there. So this is a standard format that I use. So for now, let me just use a local path file. Alright, I'll call the page as CORS-page.html. So I have a copy of this file already, CORS-page.html. We will see that now. So let me just save this for now. Okay, and let me upload this to the bucket. Okay, let me go and add this file, and I'll call this the index.html file is there. Let me upload it now, and it has successfully uploaded. So now let's go back to the properties and let's see what is happening here. Alright, it works fine. It says this page does not exist. Alright, why? Because the CORS-page.html has not been set up within this bucket. Now let me go and add the object. Okay, So let me click on upload, and I have the CORS-page.html already set. Let's have a look into that as well. I'm going to pull in the CORS-page.html, and it's just a pretty simple line. It says I'm a cross-origin page, and your cross-origin setup works fine. So remember, I should be getting the same output when I'm going to be hosting this file from an entirely different bucket in an entirely different region. But first, what we're going to do is we are going to try it within the same bucket. We're going to host this file within the same bucket, and let's try to see if it is working successfully. Alright, for that, let me go ahead and upload this CORS-page.html to the bucket. Alright, the upload was successful. Now let me try to refresh this and see what happens. And I'm a cross-origin page. Your cross-origin setup works fine, which means the original index.html file, which we uploaded right now, is working as expected, right? Okay. Now this is the same origin. Remember, because we are calling the CORS page. This is not the CORS page actually. This is the same origin page only. All right. So we are testing with the CORS page by putting that within the same volume and the same bucket, and it is working fine. Now let's go and test it from an entirely different bucket. So to do that, first let's go and remove the index.html file and the CORS-page.html. We wouldn't need both of these files anymore. So let me go ahead and delete them. Alright, so both the objects are now deleted. Okay, so now let me go ahead and create a new bucket in the another region completely. Okay, from where I'm going to use it as the cross origin. So I'll create a bucket, and I will call this as a test CORS bucket 01. Okay, and I'll call it as 001. Okay, and let me put this in the EU region. I'll put it in EU Paris. Alright, yes, and I'll enable ACL here. I'll unblock all public access. I'll acknowledge that the current settings might result in this bucket and the objects within the bucket becoming public. Yes, and I'm not going to be changing any other options. I'll just leave them as it is, and let me create the bucket. So if the bucket name was not used by anybody else, we should get the bucket name successfully. Yes, we are getting it as test-CORS-bucket 001 has been successfully created for us. Very well. Now it says objects can be public. Let's go and manage this now. Okay, so let me first go here and let me see what's happening. So let me go on the properties. So the first step to making this bucket accessible from a website is to make this bucket also a static website hosting bucket. So let me go and edit this, and let me enable static website hosting on this particular bucket. So it is enabled now, and I see that host a static website is checked here, and the index document is index.html. I will just key in the index.html. We don't have to upload the index.html here or the error.html, but we need to just key in them for the reference of the configuration. Now let me save the changes. So now I made the cross-origin bucket a static hosting bucket. Alright, so let me go and check what's happening. If it's working right now, we can check on that. It says 403 forbidden. Okay, so there is two parts to it. One is, because the file is not accessible. The second part is we have not uploaded the file yet. Alright, so let me go and upload the CORS file now. Okay, I'll click on the objects and I'll click on upload, and I'll go and add the file, which is the CORS page. Okay, now let me add it here. Let me upload it, and the upload succeeded. Alright, let me close this now. Let me go back to the properties of the bucket and let me test it out. I'm still getting the 403 forbidden. Okay, so the reason that I'm getting the 403 forbidden is because we have to change the permissions. So the access objects can be public. Block all public access is currently off. Very well. We already set it when we created the bucket itself. So now we need to set the bucket policy, right? So let's go and set the bucket policy now. Edit the bucket policy. Remove the standard policy which was inserted there, and let me go to the policy generator, and from here let me create a new policy, and this is going to be an S3 bucket policy. The effect is to allow the incoming connections, and for anybody and actions I have to select the get object, right? Because we are going to be getting the object, right? So I have the get object here. Well, it is now selected. The next part is I need to select the Amazon resource name. So I can go and pick it up from here, from the bucket policy. It should be mentioned here already. I'm copying it up and I'm putting it here. And the most important part here is to remember you have to please put in the slash and followed by the wildcard. Okay, then click on add statement and the statement is generated here. All right, now let me generate the policy, and I have the policy generated. If you probably have the policy from the previous session when we created the hosting a static website session, if you can use the same. All right. So pretty much I just wanted to make sure that I'm doing it once again for the benefit of everybody here. Right. So I have the policy put in there, and let me go and save the changes now. Okay, so remember I've already created the bucket, the cross origin bucket. I have set the hosting static website. Then I have uploaded the file. Then I've already unblocked the public access, and I have set the bucket policy also. Right, let's see what's happening now. Now it is saying 404 not found. Previously what it said was 403. It was 403, and the error was that it was not available, right? So this is 404, which means the file is not found. So now the difference, there is a change in the error now. Good. Now let me come back. So the bucket policy is set, and the CORS, we will come here later. Okay, so let me come to the object and let me click on this page. Remember, when you are trying to access you are trying to access the root index.html. So we do not have the index.html here. All right, so we have only the page CORS-page.html, right? So once I put in the CORS, look, when I search for the CORS-page.html, let's see what's happening. Okay, so the page which I uploaded is working fine. Okay, previously it did not work because it was looking into the root path and it was looking for the index.html. We did not upload any index.html file for this particular bucket, but we uploaded the CORS-page. And remember, this CORS-page.html is the actual file or the actual object that is going to be requested by the origin. Okay, right. So we have set up everything here. Now let's come back to the origin bucket. Okay, the origin bucket is test bucket -s3 wall-demo wall1. So now we need to upload the index file. Okay, so for uploading the index file, what I need right now is I need the path to this particular file. So let me go and copy the path, and let me go ahead and fetch the index.html, which I already uploaded. All right, and here in the fetch part of the code, let me insert the path to CORS-page.html. All right, good. Now it looks successful. Let me save this. Now that I've saved it, let me go ahead and upload this file to the bucket. All right, so upload, add file, and this is the new index file with the path added to it, right? Okay, let me open it and upload it. Okay, the upload has now succeeded, and let's see what's happening with this index.html file. Let me go to the properties and let me try to access the path of the file. So at the moment I see that, the path, I was supposed to get this line here down below, right? But I don't see that yet. So let me see what is that error that is causing this. So to do that, right click on your web page and go to inspect. Once you click on inspect, and you can click on the console. So once you click on the console, it is telling me that the access to fetch the specific page from this particular bucket has been blocked by the CORS policy. Access control allow origin header is not there. Okay, because of that, it is not allowing us to access this particular object from the CORS origin bucket. Right. So the next step what we have to do is, let us move this to the end of it. Let us close this page. Let's open this one. All right, this is the CORS bucket, right? So let me go to the CORS bucket and let me go to the permissions. So we've already updated the bucket policy, and what we need to update right now is the CORS configuration. All right, so we need to have a specific configuration for the bucket the way you want it. So where you can find the example, I've already set it up for you, but I'll show you where you can find the examples. Okay, so search for something like CORS config JSON file example. Why I'm searching in the JSON format is, the format of the CORS configuration file is always a JSON file. All right, and search for the documentation in something like that should be. All right, let me search it once again. This is not the one I was looking for. CORS config JSON file. Okay, let me add this keyword AWS at the front. Yes, so I need to see this manage CORS using. This is the link that I need to specifically look into. So once I go into this page, I can see a lot of examples here. Okay, and all the statements within that particular JSON file will be explained in this page for us. I've already explained it in the previous session, but once again, for getting a view on the AWS documentation, I'm also showing it here. So we have two examples here. Let us look at example 2, and you see we have what is called as allowed headers, allowed methods, allowed origins, expose headers, and max age seconds. So in this allowed methods, we also have what is called as a get method. All right, so we'll come there. But for this session, I have already created and updated it for you. So all you have to do is just use the CORS config file. Okay. Now the allowed origin. Remember, this is the origin which is going to be allowed by the cross origin bucket. Okay, so this is the bucket URL from the source origin or the main origin. Okay, so let me go there. Let me go to the primary demo wall and let me copy this here and let me add it. Okay, so that's test bucket S3 demo, S3 wall demo wall 1, S3 website. Okay, that seems to be good. Okay, let me copy all this content. Let me come back here. Let me go to the CORS configuration file. Let me paste it here and let me save the changes. Alright, so you remember we had the access to fetch the object failed. So let me go ahead and keep this page open. Do not close this. Let me go and refresh this page, and you see that it is working fine. I can fetch the cross origin page successfully in the source origin. So what is happening is the S3 bucket, which is hosted in an entirely different region, is picking up the resource or the object from a bucket which is completely on another region, and the resource is sitting within the CORS bucket, and it is allowing us to pick up those resources. Okay, so this way you can span the resources across multiple regions, and you can save on space also. Let's say if you're going to be using the same object multiple times within your website or within your application, you can go and call them multiple times using the CORS functionality. All right, so thank you very much for watching this session, and I'll see you in the next session.